What's up, guys? It's Hot7 RCT Gaming, bringing you another video for you guys. Hope you guys are doing well out there. And this is the second video, a follow-up video to my three-part miniseries on the Nintendo Switch OLED and the launch day Switch, which I have and I'm basically hacked. So basically, you want to be absolutely sure that, you transfer everything that you have on your accounts and stuff of that nature. Very, very important before you decide to start messing around with the launch day Switch to hack. Now, I'm not going to be a step-by-step tutorial, none of that stuff. I'm just throwing some basic stuff, what I went through, exploring and looking, because I waited for a very long time to do this. So I had a lot of catching up to do, of course. What I will do is leave the links to the places that you can go and get yourself up to date and informed. Please read step by step. What I can show you, however, this is one example of a place that you can go and it'll take you step by step what you need to do, what you need to be checking for, making sure that you make up, backups of your original system, pre-modding. So if something goes wrong, you can go back to it. Read. Very important. Now, after that, or during that, there's this place right here where basically you can find out if your Switch is the type that can be hacked. And you do that by, of course, putting the serial number that you're going to find on your unit here. And then, it'll check to see if yours is good to go. Now, the next part, and this is something that you're going to find in this guide, is the SD setup site, which basically does most of the groundwork for you in terms of what is the stuff that you need to have on your SD card in order to get the most out of your hack for your system. Now you're going to see a lot of terms here, utilities, emulators, CFWs, custom firmwares, atmosphere, Hecate, all of that stuff. I know it's going to sound like a lot of mumbo jumbo, but if you go through the guide step by step, it's going to all make sense to you sooner or later. So this is the place to be, or the place to get your stuff, that the tools that you're going to need to at least have on your SD card. Like if you hit here, it's going to start building up all of the stuff that you selected in that screen, and you're going to be able to download it afterwards. So yeah, very cool site as well to follow. Now, in terms of a way to, because this is all on the SD card, but you're going to need somehow a way to inject the software that is going to boot up or take your Switch from the normal state into the state where it can run the homebrews and all that good stuff, right? Well, in that case, you need this little puppy right here. This is a RCM loader or injector. It's basically the second or third way of doing this, because before you used to do it with the little red jig that's supposed to snap on the right side of the Switch. You take off the Joy-Con, you put that in, and then you had a method of pressing the plus volume and power, and that combined with the payload or what you're injecting into the Switch would take it into whatever configuration. If you wanted a Hecate, you're going to get the Hecate menu, which I'm going to show how it looks like here. And from there, you start proceeding with the other steps. Of course, you have another method instead of the RCM. If you don't have that, you can run a little program here called the Tegra RCM. In case you don't want to spend money on the jig, on the little loader thingy, you just open this up, install what's needed, go through tools and all that good stuff. And what you do is you get the files that you get from the SD card site and the payload, which I'm going to show you here what it looks like. I'm going to show you the files as they come out or they show up in the RCM loader. When you connect it via USB, you're going to see these folders right here. Why? Because that comes prepared with an atmosphere folder, rings folder, SXOX. These are different custom firmwares, and you have, of course, 3 user settings which you can inject whatever payload you want on those. And basically you press the button and hold it so you can switch between these folders in the little unit. But assuming you don't have that, basically what you're going to do is you're going to get the payload and you're going to look it up here. And once you browse and find it and it locates whatever bin you're going to inject, you just inject it with the switch connected via USB using a cable USB to USB-C. And once it's there, the program is going to tell you that the switch is connected. You can inject the payload and you do exactly the same thing that you would do with the RCM loader, but instead you do it with the computer.
You can see there is a ton of information here, stuff that you need to do. From here you have several options for launching, configurations, payloads, and the stuff that you place from the SD card. Now this is one of the most important steps, which is the creation of the MMC. There are plenty of tutorials online on how to do this. Needless to say, once you do that and you have it enabled, it's gonna basically protect your internal memory. So it's a good thing to do before you even begin doing any hacking or modding to your console. You have several tools in order to create the emulated MMC. You need to first back up the system memory, or the eMMC, so you can have a way to restore it in case something goes wrong. This is extremely important, and even though it takes sometimes a little bit tedious to do, going back and forth and making the backups and stuff, is the best thing that you can do in order to protect not breaking your switch. Once you do that, you go ahead and you do create a partition in your SD card, so you can. It's self-explanatory. I'm not going to go through the whole thing here, but basically, once you partition a space on the SD, you can then go ahead and create the emulated MMC and run basically everything going forward that you're going to be seeing, but you're going to do it kind of like in a virtual space instead of doing it directly from the system memory, so you can keep that nice and healthy without having to worry. There's some differences, or it's been said there's some differences in performance, but haven't noticed anything yet.
Why this is good? I mean, it's up to you, the choice, but it's the safer option, I believe, because everything that you're going to be doing once you create this small partition that's going to act like a virtual memory inside your hack switch, it means that it's going to keep your system memory safe and not touched. You're only going to be working within the confines of that virtual space. So it's a very cool thing, and the way that looks, once it's done properly, if you go into system, this is the hack switch already finalized. I'm going to show more of this later on. But you go into system settings and you go all the way down and you check system update. It's going to tell you the current version. As you can see there, current version is 13.0. It's the latest one, at least until now, and it ends with an E. That means that you did stuff correctly and you just follow the guide. The guide is going to show you how to do this, and basically from there on out you'll be on virtual space. So that's a very cool added bonus for if you're worried that something might happen to your system. There you have it. Now another thing that you need to also be careful. As you see here, I'm not connected to the internet, but there is a way that you can get around that, and that is, of course, it's shown in the guide as well. Go into internet settings, and what you do, you're going to find it in the guide as well. If not, search for it. Let's say I go into my settings, and you change settings and go into the DNS, and you're going to put these two rows of numbers into the DNS. This is going to connect to what is called the 90S servers, and what this does is it allows you to connect and be able to go online without even remotely getting close to Nintendo servers. So that'll keep you safe so you don't get banned or whatever. So it's another cool thing that you should do. I'm going to show you here. Connect. Okay. So now the main benefit, at least for me, is that I can go, after you do all the steps that you're supposed to, once you go into album, there's two methods that you can access your homebrew. One is by basically going into the applet mode, which means that you go over here to album, and it'll directly boot you into the homebrew menu. So you can see underneath that logo, it says applet mode. This is kind of like a streamed down version of the normal mode, and it uses a lot less memory. So if you're going to be running stuff, heavy stuff, like let's say you're going to run tinfoil, which I need to explain in a little bit, in a very, very good tool, but it's better if you run it full. If you want going to run stuff like emulators and stuff that you see here, it's best that you run it from the main one. But I just wanted to show you that you could come in here and do it as well. But for the sake of showing you the internet aspect, let's say I want to go into the App Store. I can go into the App Store, it's going to connect, it's going to show me all the cool stuff that I would be interested in downloading, and it works very much like it used to work back in the Wii days. So yeah, you look for either apps or games or emulators that you want, pick and choose. I already got set up what I'm interested in, and I already know from the get-go what is working good and what isn't. So yeah, it's a pretty awesome way of getting your homebrew and stuff of that nature. Now, there's another way of getting into that menu, and basically is that when you're about to run a game, you press R button while the game is loading, and it'll launch you into the full version. This is the one that you should be doing most of your stuff. Doing it that way. I'll do it one more time here. Say you got the game, whatever game you have installed, you're gonna run it. Pick your user and press R, shoulder button R, and it'll launch you into the full fat version of it. Now, tinfoil, which is one of the more important apps that I've found so far, very helpful tool. Now this puppy right here is the life and soul of getting your stuff basically installed. Can't recommend it enough. This one basically allows you to use install your games through USB, through the SD, or even remotely by FTP. So it's a really good thing. Get into it, read about it. Right now I don't have anything because I already installed everything already, but I will show more of this in the third video. Just wanted to give you guys an idea of how this stuff works and show you that it's actually working and really well. In the third and final video, I will show you guys how good or how well all the stuff is working, from the main games that you see here to the emulators and all that good stuff. So yeah, that'll be all for this video. I hope you enjoyed. Please check the links if you want to know more about doing this. If you have a launch day switch that you want to modify, then go right ahead and have fun. That's the whole purpose of these. So take care, guys. Please like and subscribe, and I'll talk to you on the third one. See you guys.